All right, the weather today is Seattle. It's rainy and crappy, but just leaving CrossFit. Sorry, I was hesitating because the car wasn't starting. That's scary. I can't see a thing in this car already. I'll just wait a moment to defog this bad boy, and we'll be on the way. CrossFit today was good though. I had a couple movements that I'm actually good at and one that I'm really bad at, so I'm bad at burpees. It's not changing anytime soon, but I gotta practice. But yeah, otherwise I had to deadlift, which I'm like 3 feet tall, so it's pretty easy for me to deadlift. And I got long arms too, so that's helpful. And then handstand push-ups, which I'm not good at, but I guess one of the benefits is that when I first started CrossFit, one of the first workouts we had was like they were doing handstand push-up variations, so they walked us through them, and oddly enough I'm more able to do the hardest variation of them, which is kind of funny. So I'm not saying that to brag, because I can't do the easier versions. Like, they're significantly harder for me, so it's not a bragging thing. But what's nice about it is that from like a scaling perspective, I guess like I can already start working on the hard variation, which is kind of nice. So anyway, I was doing that. Now other people in the class in total for like the workout, they were getting like 40 to 60 reps, because, and I'm not saying, I'm not knocking them, like they're doing the workout properly, in like an effective way. And for me, it was more like I got like 16 in total, so numbers way lower, but I'm doing like a harder variation. So anyway, the point is that I wanted to get across is that I made it through the workout. It was challenging, but like I didn't die, so that was nice. But it's Friday morning, and Fridays are nice for me because at work I don't really have much for scheduled meetings. It's not in our organization, they're supposed to be meeting free days. Now, as a manager, that means I end up getting stuff scheduled. I'm also noticing my gas gauge is flashing at me. So this might be one where I have to cut partway and reserve. I thought that I was going to be able to make it home for gas, but the fact that it's flashing at me, I don't feel great about, so I might have to be on the lookout for a gas station. But anyway, Fridays are generally like super light for meetings, and that way if I'm having them, they feel like they're more tactical versus like more ceremonial, if I can kind of phrase it that way. So that's cool. Since I like stopped bodybuilding, I've been trying to be kind of like enjoy food a little bit more, which sounds funny. Like, I didn't hate how I was eating before, but I was very, very structured. Now I want to get back into being a little more structured, because I'm starting to really not like being so unstructured, because it means I snack, like I don't know what I'm gonna eat, and like it's weird, and then I'm like eating like a pound of trail mix in a day, and I'm like, why am I doing this? And it's just because I don't have like other food made. So I want to get better at that. But the reason I'm bringing that up is like I'll probably order in food or something today, just because it's a Friday, and I don't know, it's kind of nice to be able to do something like that. Tomorrow we're gonna do our CrossFit workout, then we're gonna go to Crumble Cookie and get the big brownie they have. So yeah, it's gonna be like little things to look forward to like that. But is that what happens when you get old? I don't know. Like, look forward to eating cookies on the weekend. That's my life now. I'm not mad about it. Okay, so no, I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about some BrandGhost stuff, because this is supposed to be about software engineering topics. I'm just giving you a little bit of the scoop for what I'm up to for the day, and because I'm not driving to the office or whatever, this is all you get. So onboarding another content creator starting yesterday. We got to chatting. It's a buddy I know from LinkedIn, and I wasn't pitching this to him, but he was talking to me because he's been making content for a little while, and we've talked back and forth. So he's given me tips and stuff like that, and I know for him, like, like he burns out from doing it because he's constantly trying to make content and post it and stuff. And like he's a software developer, so he gets like concepts around automation and things like that. Like he's like he can figure this stuff out. So he'll do like scheduling and stuff like that. But I think to still stay on top of it, it's like it takes time. So now that I've been doing it for a while too, and I have BrandGhost, I said, hey man, like I think I can help you here. Like he's been helpful to me in the past. Like he's helped me, he's given me tips on my newsletter, on my styles of posting and stuff. And he's told me too, like, hey, I'm not telling you this because I think it's factually the best way or something, but it's more like, these are things that work for me. Like you can try them, you should try them and see if they work for you. So anyway, I told him about BrandGhost. I said, hey, I got this thing and I think it'll help. I want you to try it. And like, I'll kind of like just extend the trial for you because I really think that like this is going to do it for you. And one of the parts of the conversation too is we were talking about like monetizing content. So he was saying like he's trying to look for some other ways to help monetize, because like it takes a lot of people don't realize this, for most content creators that aren't like Justin Welsh kind of thing. You know, it's not everyone's like making bank off content. They're just putting in a lot of work and hoping that they can kind of get there someday, or to some level of success with it. Sorry, the highway is extremely crappy right now just because the rain. Anyway, so he's talking about ways to monetize his audience more effectively. So what I didn't want to do is be like, hey, like you should use this, and by the way, like the paid tier is going to cost you another $100 a month, because he's already talking about how he wants to monetize more effectively. So I just wanted to make sure I could extend the gratitude, like kind of say like, hey, like you helped me, like let me help you with this because I think it will. I know how he makes content because we've talked about it before, and I think it's very much aligned. So so yeah, I got him to check it out. He was like, oh, I'm kind of busy, but like I'll check it out next week. And then a few minutes later, and like I can see the events in telemetry, I know when people register and stuff, so I knew he did. But he sent me a message and he was like, hey, he's like, I couldn't resist, but he's like, I'm checking it out right now. And I think it was really cool because immediately he got the idea, which is good. We don't expect that everyone will. But kind of validated my thought process of like, I know how he makes content. I know this will be helpful. So that was pretty cool. And so he's like, okay, I really get it. You can tell he's excited about it. Oh man, I forgot to get gas and I'm on the highway and it's flashing. So hopefully we don't die. That's what happens when I start rambling. What else? So then he had a bunch of feedback. Like, I think most of it was like either trivial, like we fixed most of it yesterday, and the other parts were like things we've talked about, which is cool. Again, getting the feedback is not something like, oh, we feel bad about it. Like there's gonna be bugs, there's gonna be things we can improve, we know that. And we will fix and we will improve things, so it's not like a personal offense or anything like that. But it's very validating to hear the feedback and someone being like, hey, like, it would be really nice if you could do this feature. And it's like, it's something we've already built and we just have turned off. Like things like that where we're like, okay, like, you know, we're on the right track. So that was a really positive experience. And yeah, so like we did a bit of not quite a bug bash, but like we were just kind of focused on his requests yesterday, like last night, working through them. Now unfortunately we introduced a bug overnight, which is really embarrassing. So fixed up a bunch of stuff, did a couple of his requests, but then like broke something that was very, very simple. And just kind of goes back to the conversation I was having on this vlog the other week, where I was saying like, we need to do better at putting like the tests in place now. So we've been able to get by kind of just like iterating quick and like swapping out components in the UI, experimenting on the back end. But like back end now is getting, every time I'm adding features now, I'm testing them. And I think we're approaching that on the front end. I know there's been historically a lot more experimenting there for us, but we got to do better. And now the entire highway is stopped and blocked, and I don't have gas, so I'm not excited about this. Let's see what's happening. You probably saw there was an ambulance that drove past me, and then on Google Maps I see that there's 3 police officers ahead. So I don't know what's up. Hopefully not an accident, but it's pretty common here. I find this particular highway that I'm on, it doesn't drain very well. So when it rains, there's pockets of the highway that, like, there's just a particular spot when I was driving to my old gym. If it was raining, I could guarantee, like I would bet money on it every single time if I could, that there would be an accident at this one spot. Guaranteed, without a doubt, every single time. And it's because the water pools on parts of the highway and people don't see it. And it's right near the wall. So in the far left lane, so people are going fast. And every single time, it takes them out. It's fascinating. Like that no one would fix that or address it after so many accidents. But I think we might be in the clear. Now I'm just really focused on, like, do I have to hop off the highway to get gas or what? But we'll see. Making me a little nervous. So at BrandGhost, I think we're probably in the front end. We're probably got to start thinking about how we're going to be testing things now, because I think it's about time. I might jump off the highway here to get gas. Let's see. It'd be so embarrassing to be like, I've never run out of gas in a car in my life, and I don't want to start right now. So let's see. You won't notice it because I will trim it on YouTube. I don't edit my videos for this channel, but I just trim out the dead space if I have to get gas, or when I had to drop off stuff to my wife the other day. Because I don't think I'm at vlog level where I'm going to carry around my camera and film myself pumping gas. We're not there yet. If this channel reaches 100,000 subscribers, then sure, I'll film myself getting gas. I do want to upgrade this car. I'm really into modified cars, and this one is not modified at all except for the wrap. So it's like a gunmetal gray car, and it's currently wrapped like white with gold flakes, because I think I've said this on the channel before. This is a car I bought for my wife. She doesn't like to drive it, but she got to pick the brand and the color, and I got to pick the model. So I picked a fun model, but it was hard to find, like, in the color. So I said, hey, we'll pick any color and we'll just wrap the car. Like, it's fine. Now I'm looking for a gas station here. Let's see. Chevron to the right. Shell. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're not going to get stranded. We'll live to see another day. Oh yeah, there it is. A glorious shell. Okay, if you give me 1 sec, I'm gonna... Well, you won't care. This will be edited out. Starting now. Let's go. We're fueled up into the rain. I have no idea where I am. So we'll figure it out together. But yeah, this weekend definitely gonna be pumping out videos. I got to probably get through. I want to try to aim for like at least 2 sections recorded for our next course, because I have to catch up from not filming this week. I'm in a bit of a rut or a dry spell for YouTube videos. I'm not feeling good about that. I feel like I don't have a good topic that I want to dive into more. So that's kind of bothering me. The last couple I did, the failing the Google interview one, that did pretty well, at least like for my channel, and it's surprising because that kind of content usually doesn't, and on my channel. And then I did one that was about being too old to code. And that one did okay. I was kind of hoping I'd have another hit like the Google interview one, but not so much. It was nice though that I could kind of I had a couple people from LinkedIn and Twitter featured in there, so it's nice to kind of engage with them. And nice. I should just mention this because it's cool. The one of the shout outs I did in that video was for Dan, who is Code Wrinkles on YouTube, and so he messaged me actually and said, like, by the way, like, I actually think I have a lot more to say about this if you're interested. And jokingly, he was like, so I'm kind of volunteering myself for a podcast episode. And I was like, holy crap, yeah, why didn't I think about asking Dan to come on the podcast? So we're gonna meet tomorrow morning for me. It's tomorrow evening for him, and we're gonna record together. So I'm excited. I've talked about Dan before. I'm not like Dan takes I think a couple breaks from social media periodically, but I like Dan a lot. You know, Dan did me a solid when my channel was significantly smaller. I've talked about that. I think he's great to engage with on social media. Like he's got his opinions, and he's also not like a jerk. So that means you can have really good conversations with people like that, which is awesome. So, you know, I'm sure there's things I disagree with Dan on, and I actually feel like I could talk to him about those things and we could have like a good conversation and not be like, no, screw you, man. But I feel like most of the stuff when we're talking online, I think we agree on most things. So like, that's pretty cool too. But again, I think it's important that you're not just like in an echo chamber. You learn a lot of cool things from people with different perspectives. So anyway, I'm going to meet Dan tomorrow. I'm excited for that talk. So that might go up in probably not this week coming up, but the week after. I'm probably gonna do 2 podcast episodes to release this week coming up, and hopefully I get to 2 YouTube videos because I want to make sure that I can put all of my time for content creation into the course that I'm doing with Ryan. So that'll be good. But yeah, just gotta get on it. Now, I learned from doing the previous course with Ryan that the content for it feels a little slower just because I have to put slides together and like that. I don't like making slides, so we'll see. There's a couple sections in the previous course where slides didn't make sense, like they didn't feel right to me, so I didn't do them. But I think for most of them, especially if we're listing things out, it's probably helpful for students to see it. But that just takes time. So it's not like, okay, I know what I want to talk about, let me go record it. It's like, I know what I want to go talk about, let me go organize it visually. It's almost like double the work. So I learned that last time, so I'll pay attention to it more this time. But we'll see. I might spend like all of Saturday just like getting the slides and stuff together, and then all of Sunday recording. Or I might split it up so that, say, I can do a section of slides, record so it's fresh, and then maybe do another section of slides, wake up, record, and kind of get through a third section that way. But anyway, it's going to be good. I'm excited for this one. And we got more coming. We signed for a bunch of them, so be good stuff. But otherwise, the BrandGhost stuff is like, obviously it's top of mind for me, but it's nice because I have support, right? It's not BrandGhost isn't me, which is nice. My cold is, I think, like 99% gone, so the BrandGhost isn't just me, which makes it nice. Like while I was at CrossFit, like I'm driving, so I'm not going to message them back, but while I was at CrossFit, I could see that they were fixing some of the bugs that happened from overnight. Even Muhammad has responded. Man, this is so interesting. There's someone on LinkedIn I just saw this message again. This person on LinkedIn was like, hey, like just kind of going through my, was like reflecting on my career and stuff, and wanted to catch up with people that I thought were like impactful and like wanted to catch up. And I was like, this name's not familiar. And then I looked at their profile and I'm like, I've never worked with this person in my life, ever. And they just messaged me again and they're like, hey, just wanted to like make sure you saw my message. And I'm like, I can't tell if this is like someone's account got compromised or something, but they've only worked in the US and I haven't worked in the US, and they're all at different companies and I don't know their name. So they might, I don't know who they think I am, but it ain't me, pal. Or maybe it is and I'm just stupid, which is entirely possible, you know? But BrandGhost wise, I'm trying to think, like, I chatted about this before. There's features that I want to go build, and there are features that like we probably need to focus on. So I did get done the post scheduling. Like if you wanted to go post from BrandGhost as a one-off thing, we support that. We just don't have it in the user interface, but like I can call web APIs to do it, which is nice. I had a bit of a, I should talk about this. I had a bit of a shitty situation with Zapier. There's a Mustang beside me trying to like match my driving. People with Mustangs, I don't understand. I'm sorry if you drive a Mustang, but they're not good cars. What was I saying? Oh, Zapier, yeah, man. Okay, so I was using, like, as I was building BrandGhost, and before I built BrandGhost, I used Zapier a lot. And Zapier is an absolute pile of trash. And when I started using Zapier, it was okay. And I actually had some good support requests and stuff, like when things weren't working. I felt like I was being supported, especially as a paid customer. And I have open support tickets from like January with Zapier. And I want to explain my problem with Zapier aside from their absolutely terrible customer service, which is actually embarrassing. Like if I were in charge of tech support and customer service at Zapier, I would not feel good about the state of things based on my interactions there. I've literally had people in tech support, like that, I don't know their levels, but someone who seemed to be like taking over a case, like it was like escalated, and they literally said in their message, like, we're so sorry that you've been having a bad experience, and like I'm here to go kind of like change the direction of this. And then they shared with me in the email a bunch of information and screenshots for the wrong user. So they had sent me over a bunch of someone else's like personal Zapier stuff in a screenshot. And I responded and I was like, look, I know that you're trying to go make this better, but you literally just did a really big oopsie, like not okay. Not only are you just wasting my time still, but like now you've like violated someone's privacy. Like it's ridiculous. Anyway, the technical reason why I'm infuriated with Zapier is that Zapier does not seem to understand that when they make web requests, if there's an error, they will retry it. And it's not every error, but there are categories of errors that they will retry. And you might say, well, Nick, that might make sense. Maybe Zapier wants that. And you're right. They do want that because they actually have a feature that you can turn on that allows you to control the behavior to retry. But by default, that feature's off. And I don't have it turned on for anything at all. And I have had many instances that when Zapier goes to make a web request to some social platform, or even to say the platform called Buffer, when Zapier goes to communicate with Buffer, for videos in particular, this is a common one, Buffer sends an error response back to Zapier saying like, hey, like, we're still waiting. It's not that it's failed. They're saying, hey, we're still waiting for it to finish processing. So like, here's a response that's not a 200. And Zapier goes, oh, it failed. I'll try again. And it does it 3 times. Now, I post to like roughly every day, like 8 to 12 social media platforms. And you might imagine that if I'm triple posting a video to 12 platforms, then that's not a good time for me. In fact, it is significantly worse than automating it. And like the benefit I get from automating, it's significantly worse than that positive experience. So I have sent them logs. I have literally gotten people from Buffer to give me web logs about how their API is being hit, and it's evidenced in those logs that Zapier is calling Buffer 3 times. I run BrandGhost now, and I can see on my server that they're making additional web requests, and I don't have any feature turned on to retry things. Now, last night's issue was even worse. It wasn't retrying things. The entire Zap, which is what you call like a workflow in Zapier, that Zap triggers every day at 9 a.m. Okay? At 5:16 p.m., out of nowhere, it just decided to go run again. And it posted a short form video that already got posted this morning. It posted it to every platform once again. And the problem now is that like I know Zapier support is so terrible that I will never get the support I need on it. Like it's always going to be something I need to assume is broken, which is terrible because I'm paying for this service. So we really need to get TikTok approved, and I think once TikTok is approved, I can turn off Zapier for forever. I never want to give Zapier another cent because they're so awful. I think Zapier tried to go too wide on too many things just to say that they have all these platforms, and the whole thing sucks. So, cool, Zapier, you can do 100, you can do 1,000, you can do 1,000,000 platforms. But who cares if you can't even trust that the thing is going to work in the most simple case? Like, I can't understand this, so. Yeah, and it made it even worse because when I was talking with the support people, I was like, I'm literally telling you that you need to go look in your logs that must exist somewhere, that when you see a failed web request to go check why it's retrying. Like, maybe and very likely the tech support people aren't looking at code. Like, I don't expect that, but like how are you not communicating with this with an engineering team over it's October now? So like this is the 10th month at least. It's not been addressed. It's unreal. Like, especially knowing that they have an optional feature for it, right? You have an optional feature. I don't have it turned on. You literally wrote code to go design this optional feature around this. That means your engineering teams understand the failure modes, and they have logic in there to go interpret the failure mode and say, should we retry? Should we take some other action? The engineers know it. So go tell them what's happening. I don't have that feature turned on. It should not retry. It's insane. But anyway, I can't wait to never pay Zapier again. So I'm motivated that way because even if no one ever wants to pay for BrandGhost, I'm going to be saving money from Zapier, and they can eat it, man, because I can't stand them. And I'm home, and I'm hungry. But that's it for today. Maybe we'll get another video in over the weekend. I don't know. Not if I'm driving with my wife. She probably doesn't want to be on the camera, but thanks for hanging out. Listen to me rant. Don't use Zapier. It sucks. And I'll see you next time.